Hello everyone, I am Rajat, a student from Rajiv Gandhi Government Engineering College, Nagrota, Bagma, from ECE department. Is going to present on brain fingerprinting. The fundamental difference between the perpetrator of a crime and an innocent person is that the person who has committed the crime has details of crime stored in his memory, whereas the innocent person doesn't have such kind of information. This is what the brain fingerprinting testing detects. It scientifically detects the presence or absence of specific information. What is brain fingerprinting? Brain fingerprinting is a scientific technique to determine whether a specific information is stored in individual's brain or not. It was invented by Dr. Lawrence A. Farwell. It is a patented technique of proven accuracy in US government tests. It ruled admissible in one US court as scientific evidence. Means it is selected as a scientific evidence in one of the US court. It has a record of 100% accuracy. So when brain fingerprinting was first used in the year 1999, a woodcutter named James Grinder confessed murdering a woman named Julie Helton. Helton died 15 years prior to Grinder's confession. The man refused his statements again and again. This troubled the policemen to file a strong case against Grinder, as the pieces of evidence against him were decades old and he was refusing his statements also. So at that time, the sheriff called Dr. Lawrence Farwell. He discovered a new way to determine the guilt or innocence of a person by measuring the brain activity, and this new way was called brain fingerprinting. And by using this technique, the James Grinder was caught. So the basic principle operation of the brain fingerprinting is that whenever a suspect sees a previously known information, then a specific measurable brain response is secreted by the brain of that suspect, and this brain response is known as P300 or murmur. Murmur stands for memory and encoding related multifaceted electron encephalographic response. So what is P300 or a murmur? A murmur is a part of brainwave which is observed in response to a familiar information. It means it is secreted only when a person is exposed to a familiar information. So when the brain recognizes something known to it, then the neurons are fired synchronously and thereby increasing the changes in the brain activity. It is these changes that the investigators look for when trying to determine whether someone recognizes a particular piece of information or not. When a person is exposed to a rare but a meaningful information, then there is an increase in neuron activity, which results an increase in voltage typically within 300 to 1000 milliseconds. And this increase in voltage is known as P300. The working. A sequence of words, phrases, or pictures is presented on a video monitor to the subject wearing a special headband specially designed for detecting the brain wave responses. So note, no questions are asked from the suspect during this process. A suspect is tested by looking at three kinds of stimuli which are represented by three different color lines, and these are target, which is red in color, irrelevant, blue in color, and probe, blue in color. The target indicates that the suspect is expected to know the information. Irrelevant shows that the information is not known to the suspect, and the probes, it tells or indicates that the information is only known to the suspect. So the target provides a template for a response that will be generated when a subject recognizes a stimuli familiar to the situation under investigation. So the targets will be generated when the suspect recognizes a stimuli which is familiar to the situation under investigation, and the irrelevant will be generated when the subject do not recognizes a stimuli which is familiar to the situation under investigation. This is because the person is unable to recognize a particular piece of information, and the irrelevant line which is green in color tells that the information is not known to the suspect. For each probe stimulus there are approximately 4 irrelevant stimuli and 1 target stimuli. Targets. Since they are recognized and require a particular response, they are noteworthy for all suspects. Irrelevant are not noteworthy for any suspects because they do not have knowledge of the crime. And the probes are noteworthy only to the subject who have the knowledge specific to the situation under investigation. A subject lacking specific information relevant to the situation under investigation recognizes two types of stimuli: targets and irrelevance only. Targets means the suspect is expected to know the information, and the irrelevant means that the suspect doesn't have the knowledge of the crime. So the subject with the specific information, it means that if the subject recognizes a particular piece of information under investigation, then there are three types of stimuli secreted in his brain, and these are targets, irrelevance, and probes. Hereby probes, because the probes tells us that the information only known to the suspect. So the main function of our experimental design is to create a two stimulus series for an individual without specific information under investigation, and three stimulus series for an individual who have the knowledge of the specific information under investigation. Why we are creating the two stimulus series for an non-guilty person and three stimulus series for a guilty person? Because the subject is looked, a non-guilt person is looked by is judged by two types of stimuli: targets and irrelevance, whereas the guilt person is looked by three types of stimuli: targets, irrelevance, and probes. That's why we are designing a two stimulus series and three stimulus series. So this is the graph which is showing the person who is guilty and not guilty. The first graph under not guilty shows that the person is not guilty because the green and blue lines are very close to each other. Here green lines indicates information is not known to the suspect, and blue line indicates information is only known to the suspect. And in case of guilty, the red and blue lines are very closely correlated to each other, which means that the suspect is expected to know the information, and the information is only known to the suspect. So that is why it is found guilty. So determination of the information present in one's brain consists of comparing probe responses to the target responses, which contains a P300 murmur. See, in this graph we are comparing the probe responses. Which are probe responses? These blue lines. Blue line will be telling probes, and the red line will be telling targets. So it is found guilty, and the determination of the information absent in one's brain consists of comparing the probe responses to the irrelevant responses, as both are not familiar to the subject and thus doesn't secrete a P300 or a murmur. So here in not guilty graph we are comparing the probe responses with the irrelevant responses. Here blue means probe and green means irrelevant. What are the advantages of the brain fingerprinting? It identifies the criminals quickly and scientifically. It has record of 100% accuracy. It identified terrorists and a member of gangs, criminal and intelligence organizations. Reduce expenditure of money and other resources in law enforcement. It reduces evasion of justice. That's all.